make sure this is on and it's red. Okay. Art, when you're talking, make sure this is on and it's red. And then this will be up here, and that's how you'll move the slides back and forth. Thanks.
I don't like this.
I'm
Wrong
sorry.
color.
I just. I understand the speaker is coming.
Pardon me?
I understand the speaker is coming. He's just not here.
Okay, we'll wait a few minutes for him.
Certainly. First, I'd like to state that we have received no request for public comments. I'd like to request approval of consent agendas item 1 through 15, which have been reviewed and recommended for approval by commission staff.
It's a proper motion, properly seconded. Discussion? Hear none. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. You adopt. Next item.
Next, we have 3 items for the Tennessee Board of Regents, and we have Executive Director Dick Tracy here to present these items.
Mr. Tracy, good to have you with us.
Good morning, County Governor, Speaker Sexton, members. Our first item is for the approval of the master plan as presented by the DLR Group for the master plan at Chattanooga State Community College. Mr. Chair, please recognize that in attendance is President Rebecca Ashford, who's available to answer any questions upon the completion of the presentation, and Ms. Kristen Osterby from DLR Group to present the project.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here with you today and to present the findings of the campus master plan. The recommended strategies for this plan are all based and integrated on the strategic plan for the institution, for its academic and student life initiatives, and for broad-based campus engagement. As part of the planning, looking at projected enrollment trends as well as workforce development needs in the area, the enrollment is projected in short term to reach pre-pandemic levels and then be strong and steady for this planning period. Looking at the existing built space on the campus, it is sufficient to meet the enrollment projections, but it is deficient in 2 significant areas. One, for the learning spaces, typically called library spaces, for collaborative study space, as well as more significantly for open labs that are technology-based and group learning. There are also deficits in quality that disguise the space available. Looking at this diagram, you see in orange in particular, the critical facilities that are in poor condition and that need some immediate attention and remediation because of their essentially lack of improvement over the last 40 to 50 years. In particular, looking at the northeast corner of the campus, I draw your attention to the Omni building, the large footprint in orange, as well as to the corner, the Health and Fitness Center. Those have deferred maintenance. Their systems are coming to the end. They are not flexible for renovation to the kinds of space needs and configurations for 20th century learning. And they also are inaccessible in many different ways for mobility, visibility, and audibility. So the campus plan correspondingly looks at major recommendations in that corner of the campus. On this plan, you'll see that, again, it's the demolition of the existing Omni building highlighted in A with the dashed line, and B, the reinvestment in a major transformative building that I'll touch on later that will be a landmark for academic and student success. Additional small renovations to the surrounding buildings you see to augment what's happening internally and to create a front door experience and programming adjacencies for the new Gateway building, the new landmark building. And you see those in D, H, and I, also in blue. And then J, K, and L, looking at improved pedestrian connectivity that knits all of this together with buildings that are in good condition in other parts of the campus, as well as the safe vehicular circulation in gray, which is C, E, and F. So if we highlight each of these, I'll start first, of course, with the Omni building replacement, the new Gateway building, and that is to create a dynamic front entry for the campus. It's to put learning and student success on display, to create a front porch experience, and to do all of this with less square footage than the existing building. It also creates an iconic riverfront experience, an event lawn that welcomes students and the community to the campus and creates a strong riverfront presence. Moving next door to the Health and Fitness Center, that again needs a major revitalization. It augments the programming for student success that's in the Gateway building, and it focuses on improving student wellness for their capabilities as well as academic programs located there. There's also a soccer facility, a soccer field in this area that also enhances programming and partnership capabilities for sports on the campus. On the other side of the entry to the Gateway building is the Student Center addition, again, augmenting changes that are happening on the inside, letting students have an accessible entry, one that creates a front door experience that amplifies what is already happening for the Gateway building and creates a better mental health experience with enhanced daylighting and wayfinding. Finally, for an addition to serve the library, creating a clear, accessible entry there, really focusing on that team-based study space and learning I mentioned earlier, and positions the entire instructional media center in that facility to be that academic support hub right next to the new Gateway building. Also in yellow, you'll see again this network of pedestrian connections that really helps the buildings all connect to the Gateway building, the investments and the facilities around it, and also completely transforms that understanding of how to move from facilities in great condition on the perimeter of campus all the way to the river and the open space around the Gateway building. Last, but certainly not least, circulation is dangerous in places on this campus. And so looking at the new roundabouts that are being positioned, as well as an improvement to one-way roads and completion of a campus loop road, again, allows seamless vehicular movement to the Gateway building, but to other buildings, drop-off and services that complement the pedestrian experiences. Looking at the cost model and conclusion for these projects, I think the important thing to note here is we do recognize the critical state investment that is required for the demolition and reconstruction of the Gateway building. But it also significantly shows for the implementation the commitment that the college is making for finding alternative paths of funding for some of these smaller capital investments. And all of this is to transform the existing campus to really be the destination of choice, not only for the city of Chattanooga and Hamilton County, but for the larger region that it serves in the Tennessee River Valley. So I'll conclude my presentation and happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Questions? Yes. Commissioner?
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Just a couple of questions on the Omni or Gateway building, which was the short-term one that you said really needs to be replaced. I
Yes,
assume
sir.
we'll start seeing requests around that. How old is that building now? Do you know?
That is well over 40, 50 years. I know Dr. Ashford was actually just looking at college yearbooks.
I believe it was opened in 1966 or something.
Okay, thank you. And why do we need to rebuild it, demolish it, rebuild it rather than renovate?
There's several reasons for that. First of all is just the configuration of the buildings in that era. They're very low floor-to-floor ceiling heights. So for example, and the way the columns are spaced in terms of how students learn, and particularly the lab space, it's very difficult to reconfigure that. It's also a very sprawling complex. So literally people do get lost. It's very hard, even within a class change period, to get from one end of that building to the other. And the other is the mechanical systems are really at the end of their life. And so you would need to completely replace those in the future to just even deal with modern code and HVAC standards.
Thank you. We'll have more conversations on that as it goes through the process. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Further discussion? See none. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. You adopt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next item is for the approval of the master plan as presented for Doberlitsky. For this is the master plan at Dyersburg State Community College. Mr. Chair, please recognize in attendance President Scott Cook, who will be available to answer any questions at the completion of the presentation, and Mr. Art Litsky from Doberlitsky Matthey to present the project.
Good morning.
Good morning. So Dyersburg College has three campuses. Their main campus at Dyersburg. They have a Jimmy Nafee Center in Covington, and then they have some space, rental lease space in Paris and in Henry County. We met with, I don't know, maybe 100 or so different meetings on campus with faculty, staff, and students. It was a pretty transparent and open process that we went through. We heard from everyone that was interested in talking to us about it. Their campus is on an old golf course. The topography there is fabulous. You can, if you wanted to, have a great time if you were a golfer. Their workforce training is in the old clubhouse, which was designed maybe in the 40s or 50s. It was not designed for the purpose that is being used today. And one of the priorities that the college has is for a new workforce resource. Their engineering technology is in a storage area within the facilities area of the campus. Inappropriate again. So what we're trying to do is bring things together. So I'm going to show you a couple of changes up to their campus. The photographs on the left-hand side show the buildings that are going to be in one way or another impacted by this campus plan. There's the Learning Resource Center at the bottom. You can see the arrow to it. In the middle is the Student Center, and above is Anderson Hall. Anderson Hall currently has the theater. And what we'd like to be able to do is to consolidate art and music and theater in one building. So we're adding a small space to that building for that to happen. Music currently is in the gymnasium. Art doesn't have a home. Theater is in that building. So we're trying to bring them together into one designed location. But the priority, I think, for the college is what we're calling the Community Workforce Entrepreneurial Center. It brings some academic programs together. It brings workforce out of the clubhouse and into a more designed space. It provides community resources for the community that takes advantage of that. And so that building is located between the Learning Resource Center and the Student Center, right by parking. We're also showing a connector road that we're placing that connects both sides of the campus. Right now, you can't go across. You have to go, if you were at the gym, you have to go down to the street, around and up again, rather than being able to circulate on campus. And so there's a connector road that we're putting in place. We're also expanding parking and showing a new practice field. One thing that this campus needs to take advantage of is the changes in topography, and there's no reason why you can't have a fabulous outdoor classroom on that land near the student center, taking advantage of the land as it changes. We're showing a couple of different examples of how you might do it, including down at the very right-hand side where you have a wall with chalkboard on place and students around it. It's relatively simple to do, and it's a great location for the campus. The Jimmy Nafee Center, 3 buildings. Jimmy Nafee building itself, there's the Learning Resource Center and a combined Tipton County Library, which is a great resource for both the library, for both the college and for the county. And then we have the Baptist Memorial Healthcare Center, which is basically their nursing program. We're showing several different changes to the Nafee campus. One is in the Jimmy Nafee building itself, in the center of the building. We're trying to bring together the one-stop shop in a renovated resource in the center of the building. In the Learning Resource Center, there's a large open space that we're trying to redesign and make it more efficient for academic and student life purposes. And then there's the addition to the Memorial Healthcare Center for nursing and allied health programs. And up in the very north part of the campus, a line workforce area for lineman training, and they would have their poles and a resource for that. And at Henry County, right now, the college leases 2, 3, or 4 different spaces in a building that's inappropriate for their use. And what they're looking for is land that can be either acquired or donated near the TCAT that's currently under construction for a new center, academic center there. The different costs involved and where the funding might be coming from for the variety of different projects that are both renovated and new. And I think the total is around $120 million for the various different projects, starting with the community workforce training, which is a 90,000 square foot building. And that's the presentation.
Questions? Proper motion properly seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. You adopt. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our final item is for the approval of the master plan as presented by Dobrolitsky Matthey for the master plan at Northeast State Community College. Mr. Chair, please recognize in attendance President Jeff McCord, who's available to answer any questions at the completion of the presentation, and Mr. Art Litsky of Dobrolitsky Matthey to present the project.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Northeast State. 4 locations. They serve 5 different counties. Again, in the same way that we worked with Dyersburg, we also worked with this campus in trying to have as open a process as possible. And again, multiple meetings throughout the whole time. Faculty, staff, and students were all involved in helping us define what's needed. So the existing campus down, those white buildings down on the bottom of the slide, north of the campus is the walking trail that is both a college and a community resource. And north of that is some 37 acres of land that the college recently acquired, which will become recreational space and potentially some academic resources sometime in the future. But for now, we're going to concentrate on the campus itself. Those boxes that are colored peach color, I guess, or pumpkin color, peach color, are the changes that are taking place that we're suggesting happen on this campus. One change that we're showing, let me just go back one slide. If you look at the campus, you can see that there are some quadrangles that are separated into 2 different locations. And they're separated by a building that's the Student Services Building. That building divides the campus into 2 different personalities, in a sense. You can't get to the southern end of the campus without going through a building. So that building is, in my mind, a building that needs to either be removed entirely or partially demolished to open up the space to make it a more attractive and open campus. So what we were showing here is a portion of the building demolished and renovated for student services. A priority is for the university, the college, to have a student center. And what we're showing sort of to the west of the library, to the east of the library, is the student center. To the south of the campus is Powers Mathematics and Science Building, which is only now science. Math is located in about 4 different locations on campus. So we're adding, in addition to the Powers Science Building, bringing math back again and allowing science to expand and making that a more complex science complex, I should say. The automotive facility, if you look at the photograph on the very lower right-hand side, I'm not sure what happened. There you go, back up. That's their automotive facility. It is a architectural gem. So it was originally designed to be part of the technology center, but there was insufficient funds to fund it. So we are trying to now bring it back together again to be part of the technology center. And so we're showing that as the southern end of that building. Where it exists today, then it either becomes a parking lot or becomes open field. And the last Peach building is Humanities and Social Science building. They are in the building that is an effective student academic facility, but they are crowded and they have insufficient space, and we're trying to provide sufficient space for it. M on that building is an existing amphitheater that has not been completed, and we're putting in the master plan as a way to get that finalized and get that complete. So whether or not the existing student service building is partially demolished or completely demolished depends upon whether or not you want to renovate a portion of it or not. It's not a architecturally significant building. It is a building that is, in my mind, breaks up the whole campus into two different campuses and should in some way or other be either removed entirely or partially removed in this campus plan. The college is located adjacent to the Tri-Cities Airport, and the college has an aviation center on the airport grounds in an aviation center hangar. If you haven't seen that building, it's a fabulous resource for the college. It's at capacity. They need to either expand it or to acquire an adjacent hangar to allow them to grow their program. They have a queue of students who are waiting to get into that program that can't get in because there's insufficient space now within that center. It's a great resource. And Kingsport, the Kingsport campus is an academic village that Kingsport is supporting. The red line shows a box of area that the college is interested in acquiring any of those buildings that are within that box for their programs over time. Almost all of those buildings that are part of that program are leased buildings. The E building is their health professions building. Nursing has to expand. They have insufficient space there. They are pretty much at capacity now, and as their enrollment grows, they will be at capacity. When they need additional space, it should happen on that side of the campus, but they don't own that building yet, so we're not going to show an addition to it, because I don't think we should, but that's where it'll go when and if they can acquire it. Elizabethton is under construction. The architect's rendering is on the right-hand side. It's a great design, I think. We thank you for your approval of it in the past. And that's moving ahead. That's under construction now. And the Gray site, there are two buildings in Gray. The 120 Dillard Court building is an academic building. It could expand in place. The new Culinary Arts Center in the Northeast State, Washington County Teaching Center is actually really just now beginning. And we don't see any changes in that for now. And these are the costs related to it. Student Center is about almost 30,000 square feet of space. The Humanities is about 20,000. Powers Addition is about 32,000 gross square feet of space. And you can see the dollars associated with it and where the funding might come. And that's a quick synopsis.
Questions?
Motion on the item. Second.
That's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. You adopt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the next item, I believe, is the minutes.
Yes,
Motion
sir.
on the item.
That's a proper motion, properly seconded. All in favor, say aye. You adopt. And next item, Ann, reports.
Next, I have a number of report items that were approved by the State Office of the State Architect in accordance with the SBC bylaws, policies, and procedures. These include 9 change orders, 1 capital project with the total project cost of between $100,000 and $1 million, 1 alternative delivery method, 1 revision in total project budget for a capital project, one disposal easement, also the report of 3 designer additional services as submitted by the University of Tennessee, Tennessee Technological University, and Stream, and the annual report of the Facilities Revolving Fund. Those are the report items.
Mr. Treasurer,
On the annual report of the Facilities Revolving Fund, I'd like to defer that acknowledgement to the next meeting of the Building Commission so we can get a copy of the report and look at it a little bit. So if we could defer that one item, not all the other items on that report, but just that one.
I'll deem those reports received with the exception of the FERC report. Further items.
We have no further business for the commission.
That's a proper motion, properly seconded. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. You adopt. Thank you.
And as soon as I hear from the legislative AV, when they've switched over the live streaming, we can get ready to start on the ESC, but I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you. Good to see you.
You as well, sir.
Have a great weekend.